Good evening and welcome to the Advent 7 podcast of horrors. I'm your ghost with the most, Trey, and I'm joined by the ghoul of the manor, Andrew.
I'm
And
scared.
we also have the chain rattler, Frank.
Hi. Why was I chain rattler?
I don't know. I was coming up with creepy ideas.
We
okay.
can hear you coming down the hall. I mean, think about it, Frank. Like, you're into all those horror movies, like all the slasher flicks. I'm pretty sure chain rattler is actually a very accurate descriptor for you. Think it's a proper moniker.
And tonight we will be talking about our memories of Halloween, including our favorite movies, TV specials, and maybe even our fears.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I want people to know my fears. I don't want them to troll me on Twitter. So my fears are way too much candy corn and lots of money.
Before we begin, if you're new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay. If you do, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and share this video on social media. And once you're done here, check out our Star Wars Visions review. Or, if you're watching this after Tuesday, check out our reaction to the final Smash character reveal. What's your money? Place your bets now, boys.
It's Sora, not gonna be Sora. It's not. Stop hyping yourselves up, internet, please.
All right, Waluigi from Pokemon.
It'll be Waluigi.
If it's Pokemon, the internet's gonna kill itself. Just saying that now.
I saw a post recently about. Okay, hear me out. What if it's Jesse and James from Team Rocket?
Okay, that's actually pretty great. I think I'd probably buy multiple fire passes just for that. No, my real fear was that Steve would enter Smash, and that already happened. So I'm practically living in a nightmare now.
So, without further ado, let's put on our Halloween costumes and stroll down the misty paths of our memories. Just to start off very simple, we're going trick-or-treating. What's your favorite candy, boys?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, I'd say probably my favorite chocolate bar was Kit Kats. I really like Kit Kats because I'm not into super duper sweet stuff. And Kit Kats are kind of a nice balance where they're coated in chocolate, but the wafer inside kind of balances it out a little bit. Sweet, but not too sweet. The only problem is, like, you gotta eat that stuff fast because Kit Kats just, like, commit seppuku in your hands the second they touch your skin. They just melt in the lava.
Insta melting.
Yeah. Like I'd throw Kit Kats in the freezer and then eat them because that way it's a little bit easier to eat and they don't melt as fast. I guess non-chocolate favorite candy is still Warheads.
Warheads? Really?
I love Warheads, man. Like, you suck on those for hours and they just pucker your face like that. I love the sour candies. I can actually feel my mouth like salivating as I'm thinking about the taste of Warheads. But where we live, they're not common. So I don't get a chance to eat those very often.
I mean, you could always buy yourself some, but I never found them in like Halloween bags or like Halloween buckets because that's never the case here.
Right.
It's always like those big old grab bags of like several different candies thrown in usually.
And it's usually just like the mainstream popular ones like M&Ms, Snickers. You might find Twix occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is Twix actually.
Oh yeah.
The same thing about being too sweet. That cookie middle is what stops it from being always overpowering.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, it's balanced.
But again, you can never find them in big. Again, I never lived in a affluent neighborhood that had full size candy bars.
Oh, full size candy bars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
kid's dream.
Oh yeah, no, you reached the right street when they give out full size candy bars on more than one house.
Yep.
But yeah, that or non-chocolate would probably be. I don't know. I'm a sucker for just like I don't know. I'm very very like the hard like suckers.
Yeah. So like Dum Dums, getting the.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, like
Yeah.
again, it's things like that. I wasn't too much of a picky one as a child. I just ate whatever I could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's definitely fair.
The hard candy suckers are definitely really good. The flavored Tootsie Rolls, like those. Okay, to be fair, those would cut up your mouth if you got like a really bad one. But
Well, yeah, you don't eat the ones that if you put it in your mouth and it doesn't feel like it's melting, you've eaten a bad one.
Oh, so that's how that worked. If the coating was all like crunchy and stuff, that means it was bad.
Or you just ate glass. I don't know. What the fuck were they putting in your candy?
I don't know, man. It's just like the Tootsie Rolls, like some of them, like the sugar coating they make, like there'd be holes and stuff in them, It wouldn't be like a perfectly smooth ball. There'd be like ripples and stuff in them, and they would sometimes be really sharp and cut up your mouth if you weren't careful.
Well, again, I'm not a person who waited to suck on it. I ate them. I bit them and crunched them.
Oh!
Are you the guy who just takes a bite out of the Tootsie Pop?
What the?
Oh yeah. I'm that motherfucking owl.
What the heck is? No. The point of that commercial is to show you how to not eat Tootsie Roll Pops.
Oh, I know. I didn't have time for that. I do that with everything when I get a chance to.
God, every time you visit the...
Re-Pops?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Re-Pops?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I crunch those too, because again, I don't have time. I'm like, crack. It's done.
I feel like I'm being put through a horror movie right now. Like, like, this should be illegal. What Frank is describing. I bet your dentist was horrified every time that you went to go see him. He was not looking forward to seeing those teeth of yours.
No, he was looking forward to it.
Strong ass teeth.
No, he was looking forward to it because he knew he was going to get a big paycheck for fixing all those cavities.
Yeah,
no,
right.
Strong ass teeth. You remember I used again. I eat lemons and shit like that whole. Again, we crunch bones and corn cobs. Hey, strong ass teeth.
Oh gosh, yeah. Moving past that.
My favorite candy is actually Milky Ways. Is my favorite chocolate. It's so good. The soft nougat, the caramel. So this is like, it's really bad that I'm diabetic because I have a terrible sweet tooth.
Yeah, I've noticed, Trey.
which is kind of funny. My family's also, my family's also diabetic, and boy, do they love their sweet tooths. I know how that works. They tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
You tell them no, and they're like, "No, I want this." I'm like, "You can't have it. Stop it.
Get that out of the house.
Take your insulin."
Well, that's the point. You take your insulin, and you can have all the candy you want.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then my favorite non-chocolate candy is probably Skittles.
Oh, okay.
But you know what is very upsetting? How they in recent memory have changed the green Skittle from lime to apple.
Oh, that's a total step backwards. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Lime is so good.
It really is.
But I guess not a lot of people like lime for some reason.
No, there's a whole campaign on lime because they are making all lime bags now.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Good. It deserves that. Apple flavored. I can't even imagine. I haven't Skittles in forever, but I will agree that Skittles are bomb. Like if I ever see those in like a like a candy bowl, some sort of like a assorted candy bowl, I'd pick those over M&Ms every time.
Oh yeah. But here's the true sign of a psychopath. Someone puts out a candy bowl, but it's not. It's like you're at a Halloween party, and someone puts out a candy bowl filled with Skittles, M&Ms, and Reese's Pieces. Good luck, everybody.
All three, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the bowl wouldn't survive for long, that's for sure.
No, it's just it's like if you were at a party with me and you could.
Yeah.
I think
I would say.
Go ahead.
I would say that's a weird ass mouthful.
Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't eat all three at once. Ugh.
But you can't tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference. You have no choice but to pop them in and see what happens.
Oh wait,
yeah.
you're saying that like they're all mixed together?
Yeah.
Like I thought you were saying like they throw in the packets. No, you're saying they open the packets and pour them in. Good lord, that's
yeah.
I think doing that is like against like the Geneva Code or something. Like you literally cannot do that. Oh, no. I wouldn't even take a risk. But I suppose if you're doing that, if you're that sadistic as to ruin multiple types of candy by mixing them all together, then you are just trying to pull a trick or treat on your friends.
Yep. Just something I saw online once. I'm like, that's evil.
Outright evil, yes. What is your guys' least favorite candy? I'm actually curious now.
Anything dark chocolate.
Yeah, dark chocolate's pretty bitter. I've never been a super like I don't mind eating dark chocolate, but it's not my go-to. Like I'm not a fan of sweet stuff, but I'm also not a fan of dark chocolate of all things. That's something you save for, I don't know, like cake or something like that. I see a lot of people online saying they don't like candy corn.
Candy corn slaps, and I'm tired of people not realizing that.
Yeah, I don't get that. I've never understood the absolute distaste for candy corn. Like I love candy corn. I used to eat it all the time as a kid. Every Halloween, I begged my parents to buy me like as big of a bag as possible. I get that it's sweet, but it's soft if you don't wait a year to eat it. And yeah, I mean it's not too sweet, from my opinion.
What is the actual flavor of candy corn?
It's sugar.
Can you guys tell?
I want to say it's like honey-ish almost. It's like caramel honey.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, see, that's what I thought too. It was like caramel, which is weird, but it doesn't taste bad.
It's like it's not solid caramel. It's like a light caramel with like I said, a honey taste, because I think the company that makes candy corn deals with honey or something like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, like I always thought candy corn is like, yeah, it tastes like sugar. That's pretty much all it is, and I freaking love sugar. So
fair enough, yeah.
Like just plain sugar. Like it sucks if I'm baking something like and I'm using sugar. Like I'll just take like a full fingerful, just put it in my mouth. That's really bad, but it tastes.
Andrew, no.
I know. I mean, like I get that rush, dude. It tastes just pure sugar. It's great.
Now you're the monster.
I guess so. Now I'm the chain rattler, the hash slinging slasher, or whatever you want to freaking call me. Yeah. What's your favorite or least favorite candy, Frank?
Well, there's a funny story about that. During trick-or-treating, I would eat my candy. Yeah, why not? One of the ones I gotten was something called Neco Wafers. Have you ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They're like an old type of candy. Basically, bottle caps, but squish them flatter, and they're basically just like chalk dust. Chalky. Yeah. So I'll eat those. Well, I was eating them while I was trick-or-treating, and I started choking.
Oh, no.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, so my older brother had to give me the Heimlich maneuver at a doorstep as we're going trick-or-treating. They opened the door as me going, as I'm trying to throw up this candy.
Oh, God. Just imagine being...
Talk about the real trick-or-treating.
Yeah, so imagine someone dressed up as like, I think I was going as like, what was I going as? I was going as, I think I was younger time, so I was going as Robin.
Okay.
From the 1970s Batman and Robin.
Nice.
So I had like the the fake mask and everything, and I'm sitting there choking, and me see my brother just giving me a Heimlich maneuver as they're opening the door and going trick or treat and happy Halloween.
So was your brother dressed up as Batman?
No, he was old enough to be not doing that, so he was just, fulfilling the obligation. Fulfilling the obligation.
Why?
Imagine being like this old couple and you get a doorbell ring and you're like, oh great, the kids are here. You pick up the bowl, go to the door, you're ready to see these kids. As you open the door and say hi, you just see Batman giving Robin the Heimlich. Robin's just gagging, and you're just standing there witnessing this absolute horror fest happen in front of you of Batman trying to kill his sidekick.
Young Ward.
I just imagine in my head. It looks freaking hilarious.
Yeah, no. So that's one of again. I don't like Neco Wafers for that reason because I almost died.
I think there's like a long list of reasons to not like those candies, and you just have the best one.
You just have the best one. You almost died.
That's how bad they are.
All right. Well, speaking of costumes, you guys have do you remember your costumes as a kid, or even in our case, we go to Nebraska almost around Halloween every year. So,
quick plug.
Favorite costume
quick plug.
Cosplays.
We're going to Nebraska again this year, so if you're going to Nebraska this year, look for us. Just saying.
It's like, look for us, say hi. We're nice people.
Mm-hmm. I dressed up as Goku for my 3rd grade Halloween.
Lucky?
Oh,
yeah.
That's dope as shit. Hey.
I had like I can't remember if I had a Goku mask or a Goku wig, but I had the full outfit with the power staff. Yeah. And I think I even had like a prop 3-star Dragon Ball.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, 3-star. You failed at your costume.
Why? I don't know.
It's supposed to be the 4-star ball, you fake fan.
Maybe it was the 4-star ball. I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball. That's the thing. I just had the costume. Okay, my brother's probably the reason why I had the costume. It might have been the 4-star. I don't know. I was like 7.
Or it's like a cheap knockoff from like a unbranded rival store.
Yes.
No, it was a legit.
That seems about right.
It was a legit Goku costume. I remember that much at least. Or at least, it was about as legit as a knockoff could make. I also dressed up as a Bionicle for my 5th grade Halloween, so that was pretty cool.
Neat.
Yep, Toa.
Like, we know how much you love Bionicle and how C-3PO is a Bionicle.
No, we're not going back to that, okay? We're not going back to that discussion. I dressed up as Toa Vakama one year. He was the red leader Toa of the Metru Nui Toa. So it's 2004. Yeah. It was 2004. No. No, it was 2004's Heroes. So that must have been my 4th grade Halloween, actually. Yeah. So those are my costumes that I remember. I don't think any of my Halloween costumes outside of those two were like super duper cool.
Yeah. What about you, Frank?
Well, besides the Robin costume I had when I was younger, we had that one. Again, growing up from a big family, we have like a box of old costumes from my older siblings.
Yeah, I figured. Pay me down.
Yeah, of course. Why would you spend money on on new costumes when you had all the other ones that still are, somewhat viable?
Like, they're not destroyed. They don't smell that bad.
Yeah. There was an old Kermit the Frog costume that my mom had, and so I was like, well, you know what? I might as well, spruce this up a bit. So I wore overalls, a plaid shirt, and put a farmer hat on it. I'm like, oh, I'm Kermit the Farmer.
It's beautiful.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see this again, actually. You should revive that costume. I think that the
I'm pretty sure it was when he was little.
I think the internet deserves to see a full-grown Kermit the farmer costume.
The farmer.
Yeah.
Kermit the Farmer.
I think that we deserve this.
Yeah. No, I don't think I could fit it anymore. It's probably 10 years too
late.
No,
I'm not saying we're the old one. I'm saying we make a new costume.
Make a new
Kermit the Farmer costume. Let's do it.
Think about it.
Think about that's your Nebraska outfit now.
We just need a Kermit the Frog like face mask,
hat,
and like a hat or a pullover mask, something like that. And
we live in Nebraska, so we can get the overalls and the straw hat real easy.
Yeah, totally. And like we could get like just like a green like onesie for you to wear, and so that way you wear the onesie, wear the farmer clothes over that. We'll get you a big like belt buckle, and we'll even get you like the boots with the spurs on them too, and just walk around. And I don't know how Kermit the Frog talks. I didn't grow up with the Muppets. Like, what does Kermit the Frog sound like?
Hi ho, kids. Who wants to see my pitchfork?
It's perfect.
Yeah. But again, like I said, that was like a very lazy costume because I had most of the outfit besides the Kermit the Frog hat and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
So that one, I also remember wearing, and this was probably getting much older. That's when I started wearing like the more scary costumes as a kid, usually does.
Uh-huh.
As you're a teenager. So like I wore like a scary clown jester mask and stuff like that.
Oh, fun.
Oh, I saw 300. I'm like, those immortals look cool. So I found a mask like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to go as a Immortal 300.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What about you,
All
Shay?
right, for me, well, when I was little, me and my brother it was me and my older cousin first. We both went as ninjas. We were like nondescript ninjas, but we were basically like Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Oh.
Went as a ninja like that for a couple years. When I was in
no,
like
wait. Can I guess? Can I guess what one of your costumes was as a kid?
Go ahead. Good luck.
Danny Phantom.
See, that's the thing. I only knew Danny Phantom for my cosplay at NebraskaCon.
But not as a kid?
First year. I never got to do it as a kid. I never got cool costumes as a kid.
Got you.
Yeah,
it's okay. Like the cool costumes, I feel like those were hard to convince your parents to buy.
Oh, definitely. Like it was hard to convince them to buy, and it was just like sometimes it would take me weeks to figure out what I wanted to go as, especially the older I got, because I had the excuse of taking my little brother around, but I was like, I don't even know what I want to dress up as half the time. Because either I want to do something really anime nerdy, and there's no way I can actually make that costume because I don't know how to sew, and I don't want to put my mom through that. Or it was just like, keep wearing the same costume until it doesn't work anymore.
Right.
So.
Fair enough, yeah.
So once I got old, once I was basically in high school, I did my creepy costume of just like a faceless Grim Reaper, and I had a sickle that I carried around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my brother had done, my little brother actually had done a similar costume, but his came with like red glowing eyes underneath the mask.
Oh, you got the cooler costume.
He did get the cooler costume. I'm I'm both jealous, but it was also kind of a pain to keep the red glowing eyes in place.
Yeah.
Got you.
And you both have lived in Nebraska your whole lives. How fun was it trick or treating in the cold or
in the snow? Oh, it's fun. It was a blast.
Spoiler, it wasn't. Like, there's a big reason why I don't have too many Halloween trick or treating stories. Is because there was at least 3 consecutive years towards my later part of my childhood where it rained, snowed, and rained again. Like, on Halloween. Every year without fail. So, by the time we had a decent weathered Halloween, I was already like 13. So, I wasn't going to go trick-or-treating anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. For me, I was in the middle of nowhere. So, basically, it was cold, wet. It snowed one year. And then maybe a year where it was like, oh, it's just cold, not raining or snowing. It was just cold. Like, all right, cool, I'll take that.
Yep.
But again, we wanted the candy, so we fought through it.
Oh, definitely. The candy's always worth it. It was pretty bad when I lived in Alaska for 4 years because it was always the okay, are we getting snow before Halloween if it snows before Halloween, is it going to melt before Halloween? And whether or not it's going to be absolute bum frick cold on Halloween. So we always had to layer up. We had to layer up, so had at least 3 layers on no matter what, because walking for several hours at night just guaranteed you were going to get cold at some point.
Yeah, so what's with all those Halloween movies where they're showing characters, like, you know, doing the plot or whatever, they're in, like, the middle of whatever's happening in the movie, and it's the 31st, and they're running around with, like, just jeans and a t-shirt on. What's with that? That's crap.
Climate change didn't happen at that point. Climate change didn't happen.
It's false advertising. It's false advertising is what it is.
I mean, you all watched the same movies I did. That was like just set during like the 80s and 90s. Climate change was not existent.
Yeah, guess so. Hey, we got JD in the chat here. He says, I think my first Halloween in Nebraska, it snowed before Halloween. Yep, that sounds about right. Yeah. About every year for a couple of years without fail. It snowed every time. So it just makes me think, what's the point of wearing a costume if you gotta put on like a couple layers underneath and you gotta wear a jacket over the costume? Not really much of a costume by that point.
Very disappointing.
I mean, if I could still wear the mask while wearing like 3 layers of dense winter clothing, it's fine.
It's fine. The people will know. They'll still give you candy.
Does that Michelin Man have a Scream mask on? Oh, it does. All right, cool. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Like is that the Stay Puft Marshmallow?
Yeah. Everybody's going as the Michelin Man or the Marshmallow Man because you got the puffy jackets. It's the best you can do. Yeah, but it's okay. You know, I think that you find other ways to enjoy Halloween, especially as you get older and you can't really trick-or-treating as much anymore. Like, there's always TV, right?
There's always... Andrew, perfect segue, my man, because that was my next category where we're going to talk about. TV specials.
I got you,
man. Your boy here is a TV fanatic, and I was spoon-fed so many amazing Halloween specials that I still watch every year that I can get my hands on them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Even the 3 years that Trey and I lived together, like about every day for the whole month of October, he'd have something playing on TV that was Halloween themed. If it wasn't Disney Channel already, like he wasn't already tuned into the channel, he'd just have Netflix pulled up with something playing. Hard to not be festive with this guy around, to be quite honest. It's almost like the Halloween podcast was his idea.
What? No. Or was it?
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah, so...
Need the chain ringing #slinging slasher to come and save me.
But before I go into my whole dialogue, you guys have any you want to talk about?
Well, I'll let Frank go first on this one, actually.
Okay. I mean, again, until you're able to fully go into a dimly lit theater to watch a very scary movie, you're stuck with like Disney Channel stuff. As probably you were more willing to incline to. So like things like, I specifically remember watching like Halloween special for TV shows like Lizzie McGuire or That's So Raven.
Both of them bangers, absolute banger Halloween episodes.
Yes, very much like those. But like things like some of those shows left, things dropped, new ones came up. But I specifically remember watching. How was I when I watched Over the Garden Wall? I think was a Halloween special that came up.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Over the Garden Wall, one of Andrew's favorite Halloween specials, if I'm not mistaken.
It is like one of my favorite cartoons of all time, and I feel like Over the Garden Wall is everything you want about Halloween crammed into a few short episodes.
Yeah. Yep. It's a mini series that Cartoon Network made. 2015? I want to say.
I want to say it was around that time frame, yeah, because I was like I must have been like a sophomore in college when the show came out. So Frank, you would have been like what, like early to mid high school?
Yeah, I think I was probably right around high school when that stuff came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a very interesting show growing when I was when it was coming up. But like I said, That's a Raven, Lizzie McGuire, Billy and Mandy.
Billy and Mandy was just Halloween all the time, but they also had Halloween specials.
Every time I saw Dracula was amazing.
Dracula, awesome. Dracula.
Oh my gosh.
Scrape and lick.
Scrape and lick. Scrape and lick. Oh, it was beautiful.
Why do you make your children so damn tasty? Oh God. God, Billy and Mandy. God, it was such a great show. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yes. God, I love Courage the Cowardly Dog. It's still a classic Cartoon Network show, and it played off of so many gothic themes so well with its own twist, but the show still felt very deranged and original in its own way. I really appreciated that.
I can't wait till I can get my hands on the Scooby-Doo Courage the Cowardly Dog crossover movie special they did.
Yes. Is that out already?
I think so. I just don't know where I can find it.
Because, like, that trailer hit the internet, I think, midsummer, like a few months ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think it was going to be like a straight to DVD movie or something, so it's got to be out there somewhere.
Gotta just find it. So, yeah. Andrew, you want to talk about any specials before I go nuts for a minute?
Yeah, well, if it's not clear already, I really grew up with Cartoon Network Halloween specials more than anything. I didn't watch a lot of Disney Channel growing up, so I missed out on all of the Halloween Disney Channel stuff. All of it. Yes, it's sacrilegious. Get out of the way right now. Throw insults at me in the comments. I deserve it. But I missed out entirely on all that the Disney Channel had to offer, and if memory serves right, Nickelodeon didn't have a lot of Halloween stuff in general.
No, not really. Yeah,
I think they typically.
Weird, huh?
Yeah, it is kind of weird. I think that they had Halloween specials in the form of like their live action shows, but those specials always fixated more on like what the main plot and the main characters were going through. Halloween was more just like these characters are wearing costumes this episode, but the focus wasn't on Halloween. Hey, Alex is in the chat. Hey, what up, Alex?
I'm getting a calling from beyond. The Crypt Keeper Alex is here.
Yes, back from the grave. Congratulations. Yeah, we were waiting for you. Ooh, Alex. We can kind of hear you. Your audio is a little bit warbly here.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Don't connect to that.
I think you're having some audio issues here. Why don't you why don't you hop out for a moment and kind of get that sorted, and then hop back in when you're ready, okay?
There we go.
You got it?
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but I was connected to the 2G and not the 5G.
Got you. Okay. But yeah, anyways, like I was saying, yeah, Nickelodeon didn't really have much, so Cartoon Network was the only Halloween themed stuff I really watched. And so the thing that Cartoon Network did that stands out to me the most for like my Halloween nostalgia is the scary Godmother movies.
Scary Godmother movies are just a time capsule, my man. Excellent time capsule.
Those movies should not exist. They are like just freaks of nature. They are an offense to all that is humane and sacred, right down to their animation style. But
it was ahead of its time, Andrew. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it became out nowadays. It became out nowadays. I imagine that they would be incredibly popular in an ironic way. But
it'd be the same people who like the Berserk anime be right up there.
They exist. They're out there.
Oh.
The thing is, Cartoon Network didn't show anything else for several years on Halloween. Like, they premiered with the Scary Godmother movie in like 2004 or 05, and somehow it was a hit. Like, everybody had seen it. Like, when you went to school the next day, like, several other kids in your class had also seen that same movie on Cartoon Network the previous night. So, it's just somehow it did really well and got a lot of ratings. So Cartoon Network said, okay, we're going to fund a sequel. So they came out with a second one the following year, which was somehow not as good as the first Scary Godmother movie. I can't fathom that. But after that, then they didn't make any more Scary Godmother movies. Instead, what they did is that they just re-aired the first two movies for several more years, always on Halloween. They did not let Scary Godmother go. So
they didn't put what's that movie called, Monster House, like in 2010 or 11, finally on Cartoon Network.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yep. Monster House finally dropped on Cartoon Network, and it's a far better movie. Like, Monster House is actually a fantastic movie in my opinion. And
well, that's an actual movie with budget.
Yeah.
It's like Scary Godmother was a TV project.
Scary Godmother is something that I think 3 dudes in college can make with Blender now. So but at the time when we were kids, you know, like, it was what Cartoon Network liked to put on. So my favorite Halloween memory is probably watching the first Scary Godmother movie on its premiere on a Friday night, and there was no one at home but me at the time, so I had all the lights turned off and just was watching TV. My dad was taking my older brother to the local comic book store for like a Magic the Gathering tournament, so he bought me like some Burger King for dinner and left me at home to eat and just watch TV, and it was a really good time. I actually felt like I was having fun watching this really silly movie. It was silly, but as a kid, you know, you enjoy that. So I think if I watched it now, I'd cringe out. But as a kid, I actually enjoyed the Scary Godmother movie. And the whole movie is about this little girl who is lonely and doesn't have like really anything to do on Halloween. So she ends up making all these friends with monsters, and they throw like a party essentially. So to me, it felt like I was one of the people at that party, because the movie really engrosses you. Like, it really, really immerses you into its own narrative when you're a kid, at least. So
definitely,
yeah, like, Scary Godmother is charming. It's just that it's also a freak of nature by today's standards. So
yeah,
that was sad, Andrew.
Hey man, what can I say? Yeah, it just is what it is. That was the movie that I think really pops my mind first when I think about my Halloween childhood. So,
you want to name a TV special you really remember from your childhood?
One thing I do remember when Andrew started talking about Cartoon Network was, besides Monster House, I remember the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. They have like a Halloween episode with the jack-o'-lantern guy.
Yeah.
They aired that too. You know, not know what you guys talked about so far, since my dumb ass left my phone in the car. But you guys, I'm guessing you guys talk about Hocus Pocus and stuff like that, I'm guessing already.
I'm saving that for a little bit later.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. So for me, I remember watching that. I don't know how far back we're going to go, but I remember watching a lot of like actual scary movies, because I'm kind of like messed up like that, you know?
I'll give you and Frank time to talk about the dark underbelly that is Halloween. But first, let me revel in my childhood for a minute before you guys terrify me to death.
Hey man, sometimes that's what it is, you know?
I mean, like, Halloween's also meant to scare you to death. I think that just the level on which people want to be scared to death varies from person to person.
Yeah.
Did we get to costumes or anything yet, or no, not yet?
I did mention costumes earlier, so if you want to talk about your favorite costume you've ever worn.
So, like, there's like one that I do remember when I was in kindergarten. I had 2 costumes in kindergarten, and there's a story behind that. I had a scorpion, I think a scorpion or ninja costume, or whatever you want to call it. It's supposed to be scorpion, you know, yellow.
Hey, you and me both.
I had that, and someone stole it. Backpack, because that was back when they did the little Halloween parades.
Yeah.
It's like one of the they allowed that, at least in Bellevue public schools, and yeah, as soon as I'm going to I put my after the little parade and stuff, I put the costume in my backpack. We go play recess. I come back, it's already gone.
Oh man!
Yikes!
And I went home crying.
Oh no! I mean, it's such a cool costume too, right? Like it's Scorpion. Dang, yeah, kids are heartless.
Yeah, and then later, I don't know, I'll go home, my mom crying, explain to her, and I think I'm Batman or the Scream guy that year, but I can't exactly remember. I'm pretty sure it's Scream guy. That's a pretty memorable one. And then I don't know who's been around Nebraska since their whole life, like me, but I know in '99 I was Superman. That was the October snowstorm. That was really funny just because I don't know if you guys know anything about the October snowstorm or remember, but we had 4 feet of snow in '99.
Yeah, no? I think someone mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, and I vaguely remember that Halloween. I was Superman, and I'm Superman wearing a jacket.
Yeah, that's the lame thing. I mentioned this earlier, but when you have to wear clothes over the costume just to stay warm, that's when it kind of feels self-defeating about okay, well, what's the point of this then? I may as well just.
That's why you wear the costume over the clothes.
Or you make the jacket part of the costume. I don't know. I think this was 7th grade, Andrew. I don't know if you remember. I think I was Jason Voorhees that year, or was it in high school? I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I believe that was 7th grade, actually. Yes, you did dress up as Jason Voorhees.
But I was smart. I was I'm going to put a jacket on this year and carry a machete. And that was a bad idea because that was a heavy jacket. It was my dad's leather jacket. It was like a biker jacket.
Ooh, wow. Yep. I've seen that jacket. You wore that? That thing would have been twice your size at the time, probably.
Yeah, it was twice my size, but it was really warm. And I was like, man, this is hot. And I remember, I don't know if it was the year we stopped being friends for a while, but I remember the Darth Vader costume. I tried wearing leggings or something leggings, or long johns or whatever you want to call it underneath,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know if that was 8th grade or 10th grade. I forget what year I was Darth Vader.
It had to have been 8th or 9th grade because I stopped doing trick or treating after 7th grade. So I don't think I saw you for trick or treating after that. So I don't. It must have been later.
Yeah, I know it was later, and that was one of my favorite ones because I had a real those Return of the Sith lightsabers, the FX ones.
Yes.
I had one of those.
Yep. Yeah, I remember you had that thing on like a pedestal in your room. You were super proud of that FX lightsaber.
Yeah, and I remember using that with they had those voice changer Darth Vader things, or maybe that was 6th grade. That's probably 6th grade because it was shortly after Return of the Sith came out.
Oh yeah,
that makes sense.
It definitely had to have been that because Return of the Sith came out in like 04, 05.
Yeah. So those are costumes I remember, and I think I was Dracula or some doctor dude in high school. I don't know. I still went trick or treating, but the costumes are just really lazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's Halloween. It's always fun to dress up. So let me just talk about 2 shows real quick, and then I'll give Frank and Alex the horror corner, as I'm calling it. So 2 shows that I have to talk about that scared the living daylights out of me as a kid, but was just still harmless fun. Are You Afraid of the Dark on Nickelodeon and Goosebumps on whatever channel it was on, depending on what year I was watching it.
Hey, those are fun. The Goosebumps shows are really fun. I think the scary ones for me were the puppet guy. One of the puppets.
Slappy is terrifying. I'm telling you people now, I have a partial phobia of moving puppets, and Slappy hit that on a scary enough level that I'm like, well, I hate my life now, but I'm still gonna watch this episode of Goosebumps.
For me, that Slappy, well, yeah, whatever that puppy's name was, like you said, Slappy. That only added to the fear because I'm already afraid of a certain doll. I'm not going to say the name because people.
Oh, yeah, I think I know who you're. I think I know who you're talking about, and I'm on me and you same wavelength.
I watched that movie when I was 3, like legit 3, and I have like PTSD. Can't even look
Same.
I can't look at the thing's face, and then I'm like, I have great sisters.
Same.
They made me watch that when I was 3.
Honestly. But Are You Afraid of the Dark is also a great anthology storytelling series, and I always love how every episode starts with the Midnight Society sitting around their campfire, and whoever's going to tell the story has to grab a handful of magic dust, which apparently it's like a mix of powdered sugar and something else, toss it in the fire, and it poofs up, and it's like, this is the tale of Zeebo the Clown. It's like a lot of really scary stuff kind of came out of that anthology series. I'm like, well, these are some great This is some great anthological storytelling, but I am terrified. Hooray!
It was Chucky that you didn't like, wasn't it, Alex?
Shut the fuck up,
Andrew, why would you say the name? You
nerd!
Yeah, well, I remember because, like, when we were kids, our parents took us to the mall at one point, and there was a Spencer's at the mall, and they had the little Chucky doll, like, in the store window, and we walked past the store, and you freaked out, and you hid behind me. You're like, no, I'm not looking at that thing. I'm like, what the heck is it? It's just a doll. You're like, no, you don't know what that is, man. I saw the movie on TV the other day. I'm like, it's just a doll.
It's not just a doll, Andrew. You don't know.
It's a doll with a demon in it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It was, but
Thank you, jerk. I know what you're doing.
I'm gonna have to sleep with my eyes open tonight.
God, yeah. All right. Well, since these guys are like, talk about scary stuff while I go cry in the corner real quick.
Yeah, have at it, guys. Yeah, what less child-friendly stuff did y'all actually like grow up with, where you saw stuff that you were way too young to see, but you did anyways because your parents weren't around?
See, okay, so Alex, with them talking about watching Child's Play when they're younger, or being forced to. Same thing happened to me. Child's Play was one of the first scary movies I watched. But then again, I love all of those movies now. So, I hold a special place to Child's Play 3 or 2, whatever which one they went to. Military camp for me was one of those ones.
That was 3.
Yes. But yeah. So Child's Play was one of the ones I enjoyed growing up watching. But for Halloween, we it tended always to follow the like 31 Days of Halloween movie specials that happened.
Yeah.
So like Hocus Pocus, things like that would pop up. Every now and again, a truly scary movie would pop up, like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. Again, the Halloween franchise was a big one as well. I remember watching. We had teen youth group at our town, and so for one Halloween night, we used, but like the Friday before Halloween or whatever, we hung out at either a cornfield or a place like this. We did like a campfire. Someone decided to watch a movie, and for some reason they thought, you know what? Let's watch the original Halloween with a bunch of teenagers.
Yikes, dude. Yikes.
I'm sitting there laughing at the idea of these like 13, 14-year-olds gathering around next to a campfire and like a projector is put up. And then you see the opening shots of Halloween in which you see the mask, you see through the ice lights, and then you see just this kid walking up to this naked girl. The girl turns around, just like full front nudity.
Whoa!
Being hacked, being slapped with a knife. Yeah, that's how the original Halloween opens up.
That's right. You're right.
I'm pretty sure that's what the Rob Zombie one is too.
Yeah, the Rob Zombie is a bit different opening. It follows more like the abusive part of his household, while the original was like, yeah, he was just a messed up kid, and this one's like he's a product of a messed up family. But yeah,
that's society's fault. We have serial killers. You decide.
I mean, when your dad like screams about beating your mother, it's kind of like, oh, he was kind of messed up to begin with. Okay, but like the original movie is like, oh yeah, no, he's just a kid that went crazy. Who knows?
Yeah, but they changed it like only 3 or 4, where he's like, it's actually the shaman thing, or he can't be killed or whatever. You know, that's why he kept coming back.
Yeah, I think they're like, oh yeah, it's part of a dark ritual. He's like magic now. I'm like, okay, cool.
And that's why he the first and second one, or they shoot him like crap ton of times with a shotgun. That's why he still lived.
Yeah, they had to figure out some way.
Just wreck on that.
Yeah, because like Halloween 3 was called Season of the Witch, which didn't have Michael Myers at all. It talked about, I guess, mask forming to the face of like children and them becoming their masks and everything.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that. We just skip over it. Just remember it's magic. That's why Michael Myers is fun.
Yeah, and then like further on it gets weirder. But like Halloween franchise was a thing we watched during Halloween. Specifically, another movie we watched, and I continue watching this movie every Halloween. Something called Trick or Treat.
Oh God.
It's a Halloween anthology. If you've seen our little slideshow during our podcast, there's like a kid's like a pumpkin, like a kid with like a burlap sack mask sitting on a pumpkin. That's Sam. He is sent on Earth to make sure we follow the rules of Halloween.
Oh no.
Like you're supposed to keep your costumes on till midnight to scare away the demons, or you're supposed to keep pumpkins lit.
There, I see him now.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep pumpkins lit to scare away the demons. You're supposed to always check your candy. Watch where you go at night. Things like that. But it's like a horror anthology movie. Several different things go on during the nights of Halloween, and it's a fun movie. It's not too scary, but it's a fun movie.
I believe you.
Again, coming from a person who would watch any horror movie, if it's very low on the list, it's just a fun Halloween movie.
I still don't believe you.
I think fun Halloween for me would be like those slasher films, like Jason, or like Friday the 13th, Halloween, or even Jeepers Creepers. I like those. I like watching those during this time of the year. Not really. I can't really get too serious like The Exorcist stuff. I live in an old house, so a little too close with the old ghosts in my house.
If it goes close to the devil, you as a Christian man will say no. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
I think I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna cut you off now, and we're gonna bring back the levity by talking about non-scary movies that we watch during Halloween.
No, I actually countervote that. I want this to keep going because this is entertaining. I like the thought of Alex trying to watch horror movie in his own creaky house that could easily get broken into.
Oh
no, Andrew, we're done here.
You hear like knocking and stuff randomly in this house, and
I put it to a vote. I'm putting it to a vote. Actually, I vote that we continue with the discussion of horror films. In fact, what did you see in a horror film that you were afraid was going to happen in your own home as a kid? Because I know, Alex, you had some scary stuff happen in your house as a kid. I was convinced your house was haunted when we were growing up.
Like how Michael Myers stands outside and he like disappears. Like I would see like shadows and stuff like that, like in front of my house. I don't know if that's just me being a paranoid kid or not.
I mean, there were a lot of trees around your house.
No stuff would move around. And even in my house where I live now, like you hear just random knocking and stuff on like the windows. So that's like legit scary because I don't know if it's like tweakers trying to break into my house or like my house is haunted.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and
yeah,
and like I have this ag I like never go into. You know, I'm afraid to look up at the window from the outside. See like little, you know, see the what's that one kid from what's that Korean movie or Japanese movie?
Oh, The Grudge.
The Grudge kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you know?
The Grudge was very popular when we hit 7th grade. Like, almost everybody had seen the movie by that point. Apparently, I looked like the kid from The Grudge. And that's just because I had a bowl cut back then. And, you know, I'm Korean. I don't even know if it's a Korean or Japanese movie or whatever. But, like...
Japanese movie.
Okay, so it's even more offensive. The fact that people thought that I looked like a Grudge kid. But I also had, like, bags under my eyes because, I mean, I guess it's a hereditary thing for me. But, like, I also I stayed up way too late to watch Adult Swim as a kid. So I got bags on my eyes around 5th grade. By 7th, they were pretty big. So I think at one point, like, I just groaned because I was, like, tired or whatever, staying in line for lunch. And I just went,
Great. Congratulations, Andrew. You're the Grudge now.
And
you're a tiny Japanese girl.
It was a girl. I thought it was a boy.
It's the little boy trapped in the house the one that walks down the stairs backwards.
Jeez.
I thought the one in the well was a girl.
That's the ring. That's a whole different one.
Oh, the ring. Gotcha.
Yeah,
I thought the ring was the one where you just die in 7 days if you watch this stupid tape that no one's gonna watch.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the girl in the well.
Oh.
The Grudge. The Grudge is a house haunted by the spirit of two spirits. One is a boy that was trapped there and was killed, and the other one is the actual evil spirit, the monster. Like the hand reaching out of the back of the head, or the hair in like the corner of the room.
What in the heck? Yo.
Yeah.
Yo, no, bro.
Yeah, the boy is just the one that trapped in the house, the innocent trapped in the house as a spirit.
Got you. Okay.
Well,
apparently,
speaking of like inner.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Apparently, I look like that kid. So one day I was standing in line for lunch, and I made that sound, and like, there was a group of 3 girls in the grade above me that heard me, and they're like, "Whoa, wait, do that again." And I look at them, I'm like, "Oh, I got attention." Okay, so I did again, and they started laughing, like, "Oh my god, you're like the Grudge kid." And then these 3 girls proceeded to call me the Grudge kid for the rest of 7th grade.
Congratulations, Andrew. You played yourself.
I was like 12, man. I didn't know what I was doing. So, like, I saw those girls in the halls a lot, and they refused to let up on me for the entire school year. They were in the year above me, but they also looked significantly older. So I was just terrified of them. It was weird. But that movie was something else. Frank,
you gotta stop what you're doing. Stop what you're doing.
Did you have any really weird, like, existential encounters as a kid?
No.
Okay.
Again,
good.
I knew these were all movies. I wasn't too afraid of things like this happening.
That's the thing. That's like your superpower, is like you're able to very quickly discern that it's just a movie from reality, and that doesn't terrify you. So
no, that makes me jaded. I'm too jaded for when I was younger.
Yeah, because how far back are we going here?
Oh, I think I watched Child's Play and stuff like that when I was like 3 or 4.
So you see,
it did traumatize
and by 5 and 6, and by 5 and 6, I knew they're all movies, and I knew this wasn't real. Like, yeah, fair enough.
This is why we don't show these movies to kids. But because you saw them, yes, you traumatized or jaded, whichever word you want to go with, it doesn't affect you anymore because you saw it when you were young enough that you've adapted to it. And
nowadays I go, yeah, get Get them, Spirit.
Yep.
Get those stupid people.
It's almost like this is a way for you to elicit excitement out of yourself is by watching these types of movies because it doesn't scare you anymore.
No, I am. I guess I'm a massive. I'm wanting to see people in pain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sadist.
I wish.
Okay, guys,
I wish we.
Trauma check.
I wish we got Kevin in on this podcast because he's actually got like supernatural
Haunting
existential stories from when he was a kid. Like he's seen stuff that he tells me nowadays, and it still gives me like the heebie-jeebies hearing like some of the stuff that he's witnessed. Like he's straight up just he saw ghosts as a kid. Like he saw ghosts.
Here's a thing he told me. His boarding school had a priest who was an actual member of exorcism member.
Yep.
The priest he had, one of the priests he went to that was at their school, was a member who specifically went to do exorcisms, and he would never saw this guy without seeing him doing a 1,000-yard stare.
This priest had seen things.
The man
that we
had
could never live with.
And he talked to him. He's like talking to him about this. And he's sitting there asking him questions. And then he's like, okay, that's enough questions. Gave him a medal. The medal that he gave him was Saint Benedict, the one that I believe helps against possessions. Is like, here, take this, and then walked away.
Yo,
he still has that medal.
Yeah, Kevin like sleeps with that medal next to his bedside. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's mega creepy. Like he's told me some stories where like he walked home from school one day late at night, and his house where he lived in as a child was like at the bottom of a hill, so he had to walk down this incline. And when he got to the bottom of the hill, no. What happened was his house was at the top of the incline. Never mind, vice versa, at the top of the hill. And when he got to the front of his house, he had to climb up the hill, and there was like just a man standing in the middle of the street and was watching Kevin. And as Kevin got closer to the base of the hill to climb up to get to his house, the man just walked into the incline and disappeared.
Yeah.
And
well then,
what Kevin told me later was that his little brother had seen the same thing.
Well then.
So
time to burn the house down and just never go back.
So, I'm sorry, Trey. Sorry, Trey. I need to make this conversation.
By the way, we're filming this on October 3rd, so remember, it's Full Metal Alchemist Day. Don't forget.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Never forget October 3rd.
Oh yeah. So quick trauma check, everybody. You're driving down the highway and there's a truck with logs on it. What do you do?
Do not drive behind it.
Pass them?
I mean, at this point, you're already screwed. Death has you in its loop.
That's probably the best answer. Honestly, my better idea, slow the hell down. Like, just pull over to the side of the road.
Andrew, do you know why I just asked that question?
Yeah, because the semi-truck coming behind you will hit you.
Whoa, wait, is it behind you or in front of you?
No, it's in front of you. There's a log truck in front of you, and then there's this burling semi-truck coming from behind you.
Oh, wait, you're surrounded. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know why I just asked this question?
No, why?
It's a trauma check for anyone who has seen Final Destination 2.
Yeah, it is. That's why I was like, just do not be in the direction of the logs. That's the best I can advise. Yeah, I've seen that one clip.
Yeah, but see, anyone who stopped, specifically that cop, got hit by a semi-truck barreling down the highway.
Well, also, he got hit by CGI logic. Like, have you seen that clip? That's not how logs move. They CGI'd the heck out of that scene.
The movie series is just like illogical, logical things.
Dude, they killed people at a NASCAR race, and the main characters try to leave the race. Well, one of the cars gets hit so hard the tire flies off and goes over the entire stand and just takes out some chick in the head. Like,
That's believable.
That
Totally
is not believable. No.
It's almost believable, but not quite, because there are like track days where wheels do come off, like for real, even in the drift track, you know. They can go over the ones, they just go to hit the barrier, and that's about it.
I have seen cars completely flip over in midair for several seconds in NASCAR. But what happened in that movie, that don't happen. Like, you gotta be like extra special unlucky in order to like.
Well, that's the whole point of the series.
It is the point of the series. That's fair. But yeah, no, like that log scene though from was it the second movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. I've rewatched that clip in slow motion several times to be like, okay, at what point can you see the watermelons inside the cop car before they smash the log through it? Because
you don't. It's a full dummy. They went full out on that.
Yeah, yep. I mean I will give it to that crew of the original movies. They did a really good job at props.
So can we leave now? Can we go back to happier times, please?
I am.
It's just funny, scary things, you know. It's like, you know, when I was stationed in Okinawa, man, I just had like nightmares about like dead people and stuff.
You
like,
live in Okinawa. That's a dead, like a very famous, like haunted forest.
I think about that. I read things like later, and I was like, man, that explains like the first 2 months, like just straight nightmares of people saying "help me" and crap like that, you know.
Yeah, that is weird. I did not know that about Okinawa.
I have dreams like that. Like whenever, like when I first got stationed there, when I went to California to the crack barracks, they call them the crack barracks, but they're just really run down, and you know they have bed bugs and stuff like that. Mm. And there's like just a lot of stories about like people committing suicide and things like that in those barracks.
Okay, we're gonna have to actually stop doing that now. We will get heavily demonetized.
We're not monetized in the first place. It's all good.
No. I agree with Trey. I think we traumatized everyone enough.
I have gotten my fill. I will say I am satisfied now.
Okay.
I had to make this conversation interesting though. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
I hate it here. I'm going back to happier times and talking about Hocus Pocus and why Freeform plays it every day of their now 31 days of Halloween.
Oh, I saw that. Like my sister shared a thing for like the 31 days of Halloween. They have like Shrek in there, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5, or whatever.
I mean,
and, like, for the rest of the time.
Shrek is a Halloween movie? What?
Apparently so. I thought it on Pinky's True Cat.
No.
I swear to God.
Come on.
Look for it. My sister shared it, I swear.
That I mean, like, I believe you. I believe you in saying that, like, it happened. It's just, like, that is not a decision that I would stand behind.
You know, on Freeform, October 1st, Adam Family's Value. And the third, what's the 5th of October, Shrek, the like Shrek series, and then it's Hocus Pocus at 8 p.m.
Well, they gotta fill some of the time slots. They can't, like, Shrek is technically a monster. He is officially a monster. There are magical creatures in the movie, so it loosely fits in a Halloween setting.
I think that's why they did that.
They just have the rights to Shrek right now, so they might as well play it.
So I just remember, I just saw that list of 31 Nights of Halloween. I was like, man, Shrek's in there. That just made me laugh. Even
I guess it's scary in like an ironic way.
It's scary if you watch what's that one thing on the internet?
No, we're not talking about that.
It's all ogre now.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll just leave it at that. If you want to watch at your own discretion.
But Andrew, you missed out on the glory days that was Halloweentown. You did not get to experience the glory of Halloweentown.
I still haven't. I've never seen it.
I know.
The first three movies are great. The first 3 movies are great. The fourth one is kind of mid, but God, Halloweentown again. Like Disney runs their whole Monstober type of thing. That's the background we have now.
Yep.
But Halloweentown was peak Disney.
Peak. Yep.
It was a very good time watching those movies. That one.
Wait. There's more than one?
Yeah, it's like four
movies.
I only remember the first one.
Oh, yeah. You missed out on the second one. The
first one's the best.
Oh, I think the second one's the best.
One is really good. Good argument. There's a good argument there.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't watch a lot of Disney. I was a little turd watching scary movies.
Well, that's fair. Fair enough. Yeah.
You know what? I'll blame Alex for the fact that I didn't watch any horror movies or no, that fact I didn't watch any Disney, because like whenever I visited his house during Halloween, it was just he just always had Scream or Halloween or something else playing. It was always something genuinely scary, and I told him like, no, we're not watching this. Like we didn't watch anything together because I knew that I couldn't stand whatever the heck it was he wanted to see.
I also blame my sister because my second oldest sister is always the one who would get me into those movies.
Yeah, because your second oldest sister, she was like in middle of high school by the time we were kids, and she was showing you stuff that she was watching.
And I think it's funny because she's like, I won't ever stop watching these, and now like she's a mom and stuff. She's like, Alex, don't watch those movies around my kids. Like, man, you were watching that stuff, and I was like 5.
This was a child.
Yeah.
It was messed up, to say the least. But yeah, no, I guess no, I didn't see any Disney Channel stuff. But Trey, you're all about that. I know that as a fact.
Well, I am. Disney literally has Disney cornered the market on Halloween movies that were for kids, that were, and some of them still had a small hint of scariness in there, like Don't Look Under the Bed and Phantom of the Megaplex. Both of those had like 1 or 2 scary moments that when I was really little, I was like, oh god, I can't finish this movie.
It surprised me that Disney was able to get copyright movies. Like, again, Phantom Megaplex, a clear ripoff of Phantom of the Opera. They had My Mom Has a Date with a Vampire, which is basically Lost Boys, but children version.
Oh yeah, it totally is.
Yeah, that's the entire premise of Lost Boys, is that the family's mother is dating a vampire.
Yep. Like they ripped off so many movies and made them kid friendly. It's amazing.
Yeah. Again, that was the thing, that they were able to get people to watch these movies at such a young age and not be terrified. And so when they got older, they went like, oh, you know what? I want to be scared a bit. Let's watch this. You know, things like that. They were hoping you guys would grow up, and I guess Trey didn't, but
no, that's perfect, because I'm now in the demographic of I have money to give you, Disney.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, no. The Disney Halloween movies were pretty fun. Again, I think was Hocus Pocus a Disney movie?
It's a Disney movie, but it's not like a TV movie. It was a real movie made by Disney.
Okay. But like, yeah, Halloweentown was a fun one. I think 2 is my favorite out of all of them.
2 was very good.
I hated 4. 3 was okay, but
4 is a disgrace because for some reason they couldn't get the original actress to come back to replay Marnie, and they acted like we didn't recognize that they changed her.
Yeah, it was really, really awful. But besides movies,
you guys ever watch like the Monsters on TV Land when that was the channel?
Oh, hey!
Oh, the Monsters. Hey, that's a classic.
I think that fits in like Halloween.
Oh
like
yeah, it sure does. Yeah.
I remember like flipping channels, not like watching that. Like they would be on random times of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. It was like the Munsters, and then the original Addams Family was on there too sometimes.
Yeah, or what's that other one? It's like that crazy show about Crap, I'm trying to remember it right now.
I didn't know there was a third monster-themed show.
No, it's not monsters. It's like a sci-fi thing.
Oh.
Are you thinking of a woman with like a big hairstyle?
No. I'm thinking of it's like a bunch of like short stories.
Was the lady with the big hairstyle? You're talking about Elvira?
Yeah, Elvira.
You're talking about.
I only know about Elvira because of the pinball machine that we have at the bar arcade downtown. That was the first time I saw her.
She's a hot one, but she's happily in a relationship with a lady.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Good for her, man. I just remember like when I saw it, I was like, oh, hey, that's definitely a product of its time. But then my friend who like played this machine all the time started talking to me about it, being like, oh yeah, you never heard of Elvira? Like, she had like movies and TV shows about her. I'm like, what? You mean this isn't just a sex object pinball machine? It clearly could have been. And then I Googled it and found out that it was a franchise.
Yep.
Yeah. She was basically like the Crypt Keeper, but like old horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would host a movie night basically in her creepy castle and she would take letters and she would watch the movie with us. It's like old school Twitch streaming.
That's basically that's awful. That's awful, but an accurate way to put it. Great metaphor.
I remember the show now. The Twilight Zone.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we gotta talk about Twilight Zone. I did watch a lot of Twilight Zone as a kid, actually. That show slaps hard. Yeah.
That makes sense for you, Andrew. You love interesting storytelling.
Yeah. Well, my dad always put on Twilight Zone when I was a kid. Because he grew up with Twilight Zone when he was a kid. So, my dad turned 70 this month. So, my dad was around when Twilight Zone first aired. So, he always had that on TV when I was a kid. So I just caught a lot of episodes, and it didn't really scare me, but it definitely enticed me and kept me on the edge of my seat because it introduced all these, concepts that were terrifying on an existential level rather than horrifying and gory, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's actually a series on Channel Awesome, the channel that Nostalgia Critic runs, basically. One of the other people who works there is hosting the Twilight Zone, where he is reviewing one episode a day from the Twilight Zone. This is the second year doing this, so he's doing episodes 32 through 60 something.
Wow. There are a lot of episodes of Twilight Zone, so that's impressive. Yeah. I can't recall that this month. I can't recall any episode in particular that was my favorite from that show. I do remember a couple specific plots about a guy who had a watch that he broke and time was completely frozen. So he took advantage of that to just kind of go to the bank and take all the money he wanted. He ate whatever food he wanted. But then he realized he couldn't move time forward. And time wouldn't go backwards either. It was just stuck. So he was just permanently stuck in that 1 second of time for eternity. And that's how the episode ends. And it was terrifying. It was pretty sad, but as a kid I saw that and I'm like, dang, that was really good. I'd never witnessed storytelling on that level before, so that really inspired me, I guess.
One of the really good ones is Time at Last. It's one of the more famous Twilight Zone episodes where I think a nuclear holocaust happens, and the lead character we're following is just a meek guy, and at some point, but he's once the Holocaust happens, he goes through the existential dread of everyone's dead and all that, but he finds a library still intact, so he's just ecstatic because he loves to read, and he thinks there's finally time to just sit down and enjoy reading. And then at the end of the episode, there's a very well-known ending. His glasses drop and they shatter, and he can no longer read.
Ooh.
And we get the famous line, "It's not fair. There was time. That's not fair."
Yeah.
Family Guy did a spoof of this recently.
Family Guy, Futurama. I know Futurama did a bunch of them, like a bags with them.
Yep.
My favorite is the one where he's like, "So you're now on a plane. Oh, there's a gremlin on the plane. No, you're Hitler." Oh, things like that.
Yeah, I do remember that one Twilight Zone episode with, what was it, the clown that was like on the plane, like on the one of the fins, and the dude sitting in the plane could see was it a clown or was it something else?
It's a gremlin. It's the famous one with
the man on the wing.
The man on the wing.
It's a gremlin. It's something destroying the plane, and it's God, James Kirk. Oh God. What's his actor? What's the actor? William Shatner.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, yeah, William Shatner plays the guy trying to get the attendant going. Like, there's something destroying this plane. We have to do that. We have to do something. Yeah. And he sees this thing doing it, but no one believes him. But it's the famous actor William Shatner doing this.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah. Twilight Zone, I think, is on Hulu right now. So if anyone wants to go watch some really good storytelling, go check it out on Hulu.
I mean, didn't they do like a reboot with like Jordan Peele?
Yeah, CBS did it, so no one was able to watch it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Dang it! All of them. Well, wait, was it streaming? It was a streaming exclusive show, right? Yeah. That's the one.
It was on CBS All Access, which means it's probably on Paramount Plus now. So anyone who actually decided to pay for Paramount Plus can watch Jordan Peele's version of it.
Yeah, I saw the one.
I like it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Sorry.
I saw the one free episode they uploaded to YouTube, the first one, with Kumail Nanjiani, I think his name is, that actor who's now in the Eternals movie. And I think he's trying to be a comedian. I think the episode was called like The Comedian or something. And I don't remember a lot of the episode is the problem. And I remember the time a lot of people just were not impressed with the Jordan Peele remake. And that's a shame, but at the same time it makes a lot of sense, because how could you possibly, stand up to such a landmark classic of a television series?
You really can't. No. Rod Serling is a master of storytelling, and his narration is fantastic.
And Jordan Peele is great. Like, Jordan Peele has a masterful understanding of horror. But I think that really there's just no point in making a sequel to a show like The Twilight Zone. Because you're just
when it's not in black and white, honestly.
Yeah, it wasn't in black and white. That was kind of a setback. But it's almost like, and this is almost a different discussion entirely, but it kind of reminds me of like making a sequel to Star Wars, right? There's a certain point where it's like, okay, there's no pleasing everybody. There's just too many. Sure. There's just too many variables here to take into account. So the Twilight Zone is really not something worth reviving. We just need to like revisit it and appreciate it for what it is. There's plenty of the original TV show to enjoy. We don't necessarily need a sequel to it. But Jordan Peele probably did what he could. I haven't seen it because it was on CBS All Access. So.
All right. We're almost out of time here, so I've got one last thing to talk about. One last big favorite memory you guys have from all your years dealing with Halloween in any capacity. Favorite tradition, favorite thing you did in October that feels kind of Halloween-y.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
All right. So my town has a very specific tradition. The night before Halloween, we have a basically not mandated, version of vandalism, but it's kind of like everyone knows that there's
You
a
have the
vandalism night.
purge?
Basically, yes. We have something called corn night. So houses get TP'd, stop signs get pulled out of the ground. I think someone lit a couple couches on fire, and I left them in the middle of town.
What the heck?
The middle of town was like open, so there was nothing for it to catch, and like very heavy concrete, so it wasn't able to catch on anything on fire. Houses were TP'd. Pumpkins smashed, that's very basic things. So you hear these stories of like these teenagers trying to almost get caught by the police, and so you hear them running through houses, over fences and stuff like that. But again, I was able to partake in one of these nights, and my older brother got a paintball gun, so we decided to TP a house, egg a house, and paintball the house.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't like do the main house with the paintball. We decided to do the garage where it was less damaging, because they're our neighbors. We're not going to be monsters like that.
Yeah.
But we did all that, and again, I think we TP'd like 4 or 5 houses before we ran out. But yeah, that was my fun. That was the fun time I had the night before Halloween. Is where we just basically vandalism night, light purge.
Since
You had a mini purge.
You grew up in a very small town, so it's great because that gives you the ability to do something on that scale, and it's not going to create any problems really, as long as everybody agrees to not go too far, but also just be cool with it. It's like, okay, it's toilet paper. Yeah, we're gonna set some old couches on fire. We'll we'll put it out afterwards or something. I'm sure the cops in town definitely did not enjoy that night, though.
I think we had we weren't the county seat, so they were like a town over. So it took time. So it took time from there to here.
That's great.
Oh my God! Wow, that is fantastic.
It's pretty. That's a legit vandalism night. That's a pretty great way to spend Halloween.
Yeah, the light purge. That was one of my favorite memories.
Man, we should have let you go last. I don't think we can top that.
I don't think anyone could top that.
I don't have anything that tops that.
I mean, do you have a memory you want to talk about?
Not really a memory, but I got a tradition that happens after Halloween, actually.
Oh, yes. Perfect. Talk about that.
So what happens after Halloween, it's a Mexican tradition or Latino, whatever you want to call it. It's called Day of the Dead, or in Spanish, Dia de los Muertos, So that happens on November 1st and 2nd. That's remembering your family, and you have like an altar and you make offerings to your family to come visit. Their spirit's supposed to visit you, for those 2 days,
Yeah, watch the movie Coco.
You put like school candy, things like that. Oh yeah, you watch Coco, you have a basic idea of what it is.
That's the whole holiday in a nutshell. Yay.
Yeah, but it's a whole holiday. But I think it's like Halloweeny because you still dress up. Like in Mexico, you dress up in like costumes and stuff, and you paint your face with like skulls and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, escaladeras and all that.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So personally, that's one of my favorite things to do. Is celebrate Day of the Dead, which I think for me it's like it's Halloween part 2, but there's tamales.
Do you still celebrate like today? Like, I guess, are you going to be celebrating this year?
Yeah, I have an altar, dedicated to family.
Oh, cool. That's really neat.
Yeah.
Wait, is Day of the Dead actually in October?
No, it's
November 1st and 2nd.
November 1st and 2nd. That's why I say I feel like it should be part of, It's like kind of like the same idea, ward off evil spirits, but you're inviting family spirits to visit you.
Right. It's not just about bad spirits. It's also about welcoming old family and well-wishing.
You tell stories about them and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Andrew?
I don't know if anyone else has anything.
I don't have a whole lot. I mean, like, Halloween was not celebrated in my home very much. We didn't put up any decorations or anything outside 1 or 2 pumpkins. And when I moved to Nebraska in 4th grade, I moved to a neighborhood that barely had any kids in it whatsoever. So not every house gave out candy. There wasn't a lot of trick-or-treating could be done. I had to, like, march several neighborhoods over just to get some candy. Like, Alex didn't live very close to me. He lived several neighborhoods over. And then even further out past that.
It was like a 15-minute walk, if that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's like several neighborhoods in that span. Like several different ones.
Like 3 blocks. If anything, it's just 3 blocks.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, 3 blocks? Get out of here. You haven't walked 3 blocks down a city street if you think that was 3 blocks.
I used to walk uphill both ways.
It's not a 15 miles
just to get a
dude,
candy.
You had to go down to what? You had to go down to like Blackhawk? You had to like go down to like Blackhawk just to like get full-size candy bars.
Oh yeah, that's where all the rich kids were.
Yeah, yes, and that was a walk. That was like at least 30 minutes to walk from my house, man. And I lived in a suburban neighborhood. You shouldn't have to walk 30 minutes to just get candy. Like, it's like, my point is just like there wasn't a lot going around my part of town where I lived, so it just, you know, you definitely don't get to feel very festive when nobody else in the immediate surroundings of you is like nobody else is celebrating either. So, you know, my Halloween traditions, I guess you would call them, really just were watching Cartoon Network every Friday night when they do Halloween themed specials and new episodes of Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or Ed and Eddie or something that were Halloween centric. There is one thing I will point out. When I lived in Korea, I lived on base with all the other military kids, and there was one year where they had a TV crew come to my specific neighborhood where I lived, and they were going to broadcast a special to all the other televisions on the Air Force Base where other airmen could see it, and they were interviewing each and every kid in my neighborhood about who we were dressed up as and why. And I was dressed up as a ninja head to toe. And this is after I had the Goku costume, but I lost the costume. But I still had the power staff though. So I dressed up as a ninja. I just carried around Goku's red power staff. And I waited in line for what felt like a couple hours. It probably wasn't that long, but it felt that long. Just to get on television. And when I finally went up, you know, this tall man in a suit holds a microphone to my face and says, "Hi there, young man. What are you dressed up as?" And I'm like, I'm dressed up as a ninja. He's like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I got, you know, powers." And it's like, "That's great. Here's some candy." And then they walked me off and interviewed the next girl behind me who had a lot more to say. And I'm like, "Oh crap! I missed my chance. I'm not gonna be a TV star after all, Mom and Dad. I'm sorry."
God, you're that one kid who was on the TV reporting going, "Oh, what you dressed up as? I like turtles."
I mean, I wasn't dressed up as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, if that's any consolation. But
no, he just got his face painted, and he just said that. I was like, okay.
I just
it's an old meme, Andrew.
I know. But yeah, like that was probably like the most standout Halloween experience I had. I never even got to see that broadcast. So
wow.
Yeah, what about you, Trey?
Yeah, that leaves me. Well, tradition-wise, I always love. Me and my family always love driving around neighborhoods and looking at the Halloween decorations. So that's something we do for both Halloween and Christmas. We always like to go, especially to when we know there are like people who stunt out for Halloween or Christmas. They just have all these lights set up, and it's always just like, ooh, that's really cool. That's the beautiful light setup, the creepy skeletons and cobwebs. All that's always fun to just do that, especially if you know a good neighborhood to drive through.
Yeah.
And something else I want to shout out a very old friend of mine that I haven't talked to in years, but when I lived in Georgia for a few years, there was a kid who lived across the street, and their family always loved Halloween, like absolutely loved it. So he always had a smoke machine set up in his garage for Halloween, and I'm just like,
yo, now that's
always
impressive.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really loved Halloween. He still loves Halloween to this day. So Cam, if you ever listen to this episode, I just gotta say, love you, buddy. Miss you. But hope you're doing all right.
Cam, you had the cool parents. Jeez, you guys had a smoke machine for crying out loud. I don't know anybody who had that growing up. If your parents embrace Halloween like that, that's how you know you have the cool parents, right? He probably had the parents with the full-size candy bars.
No, they did not.
Oh shoot! Well, then they missed out. That's the one thing they didn't do right. But it sounds like everything else.
They went full out on they went full out on decorations, but kind of skimmed out on the candy because they had to save money.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, hey, somebody else was gonna have the candy bars, so.
Yeah. But one last thing, we can't. Once again, we mentioned it earlier, but we can't go this whole podcast without talking about Nebraska and saying it happens almost every year around Halloween. So it was always just good to be with the boys, talking about anime, dressing up in costumes, and just enjoying our lives together.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the thing about Nebraska is that since it falls around Halloween, I think in years past, the convention would land on the very last weekend of the month. So it would bridge from October to November. And then there was a point where that started happening about mid-November. But it was great.
One year it went to mid-November.
It was great for the anime fans who didn't want to come out as anime fans, so you could just tell normal people, oh yeah, I'm going to like a late Halloween party, I'm celebrating Halloween with my friends a second time. It's a good way to dodge the question of, oh, what are you dressed up for? It isn't Halloween anymore. You're like, oh shoot, I don't want them to find out. It's back when watching anime wasn't cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'd like to thank you all for taking this journey with us. If you're not too afraid, leave us a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment your favorite Halloween movie. And for more news on all things anime, video games, and comics, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We have a subreddit, and of course, advent7.com. I'm Trey from Advent7, and tonight I was joined by Andrew.
Hey.
Frank.
Yo.
And Alex.
The Grudge. the Grudge is watching you.
At some point, I'm gonna get you, Trey, to like just sit in a room. We're gonna watch a scary movie together.
No, you'll never get me alive.
Not even like a slasher film. Those aren't even scary. Nope.
Well, I did watch Scream with Matt at one point. It wasn't that scary. It was, in fact, the movie is so old by this point. It actually feels campy to watch it.
Yeah,
I can believe that, but I have a very active imagination. It is not a good idea to put me in a room with horror.
It's so funny to me that you're such a big fan of Halloween, but horror itself is a no-go.
Yeah, but
fair enough.
Thank you all for joining us. We will catch you all next time. Because remember, it's Thriller Night.
No, I like the Monster Mash better.
All right, let's do the Monster Mash. The Monster Mash. And now we're deep. And now we will get copyright claim. Hooray.
No. It wasn't good enough for that. You're fine. You're fine.
I don't know,
everybody. Good night, everybody, and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy Hallows.